This is our last session of the day where we'll be hearing from three of our platinum sponsors, without whom we would not be able to run events like this. So we're very, very grateful to all of them. First up, we have Ozgun Erdogan from Ubicloud.
Yeah. Thank you, Dave. Thank you. And hi, everyone. I'm super excited to be here at PGConf EU. If nothing else, this is the only conference that I know where keynotes run shorter than their allocated time, because all the speakers know it's very hard to compete with beer, free beer, on a Thursday evening at 5 p.m. So I'll keep this short. I have about a dozen slides, and I'll try to zoom through them fast. All right. Okay, for starters, we love PGConf EU. It's one of my most favorite conferences, if not the favorite conference in the world. And who are we? We're Ubicloud, and we're building an open source alternative to AWS. You can self-host our software, or you can use our managed service to reduce your cloud costs by 3 to 5x. Our founding team previously co-founded Citus, a startup that made distributed Postgres, among other things. We were acquired by Microsoft in 2019, and we worked there as part of the Azure Postgres team for 4 years afterwards. And we have many friends in the audience who were part of that journey in one way or another. So we're well versed in the Postgres community. In fact, I'll take this one step further and I'll say this. Postgres changed my life. And why do I love Postgres? Why do we love Postgres? There are many reasons to love Postgres. It's open source and the world's only independent database. No single company backs or represents the Postgres project. Here in this list is my personal favorite, extension APIs. And these APIs enable you to extend Postgres in a way that no other database does. Further, Postgres is robust and comes with many database features. Those who use it never look back. Yet, for such an awesome project, there was one critical piece missing. If you looked at the landscape, there were many, many ways in which you could consume a managed Postgres offering. For example, you could go to AWS and spin up a managed Postgres database. Heck, in fact, even Oracle Cloud offers managed Postgres these days. But even with that many offerings, you were locked into a proprietary solution that was only available in that platform. So 2 years ago, in this very conference that we love very much, we announced Ubicloud Postgres, the world's first open-source managed Postgres offering. And since then, the Ubicloud project grew. On GitHub, it grew to more than 10,000 stars. And similar to Postgres, everything we do is open. Our discussions, issues, pull requests, code reviews. In fact, the only thing we miss in terms of transparency as compared to Postgres is an active mailing list where discussions go on like PGSQL hackers. And thanks in part to this transparency, we now have more than 500 customers on our managed cloud and more than 100 customers running sizable managed Postgres instances. And with those customers' feedback, we grew our features from essentials to a full-fledged managed database service. 2 years ago, we started with the essentials on the left, provisioning, backup restore, and security. Today, you can choose from 80 Postgres extensions. I think Philip from ParaDB was in the audience. That's one of the extensions that we have. You can view and export your metrics. You can create HA standbys, or read replicas, or fork your database. Or you can use manage maintenance windows and schedule major version upgrades. We also received SOC 2 Type 2 certification and run regular pen tests against our managed service. Yet, when we talk to our new users, 2 feature requests kept coming up. First, some of our users were already running on AWS, and they wanted Ubicloud to also run there, preferably within their own account. Second, in every enterprise conversation that we had, there was this one database that was bottlenecked on I/O. And even if you paid AWS all the money in the world, you'd still hit that wall with IOPS. And this is a shame because local NVMe drives are much faster and much more reliable than previous generations of storage technologies. In fact, some of the work Andres, Melanie, and the Microsoft team are doing with async and direct I/O in Postgres are designed exactly to reap those benefits. So we took a step back and looked at AWS RDS and AWS Aurora Postgres' performance in standard benchmarks. For RDS, we picked an instance type with I/O-optimized storage. For Aurora, we chose an instance type that had a local SSD cache that was big enough to hold all the benchmark data. We then ran TPCC, which you see on the left, and TPCH, which you see on the right. And in both benchmarks, AWS Aurora performed better. And as a reminder, Aurora uses a forked and proprietary version of Postgres. So we took this mix and we introduced Ubicloud Postgres into it. In both benchmarks, Ubicloud Postgres performed significantly better. In TPCC, by leveraging NVMe drives, Ubicloud Postgres outperformed Aurora by almost 3x. In TPCH, the benefits were even higher. Ubicloud Postgres performed better than Aurora by 6x. Ubicloud Postgres' results were even more favorable when compared to RDS Postgres. As importantly, not only did performance improve, but costs also came down. Compared to Aurora Postgres, Ubicloud Postgres came in at almost 1/3 the cost in the TPCC benchmark. In TPCH, the results were similar, and Ubicloud Postgres cost a little over half of what Aurora Postgres would have cost. So you'd get higher performance and lower costs on AWS running Ubicloud Postgres on AWS. But that's not all. We believe in the ethos of open source. And as a policy, we look to provide access to your data in the most convenient way. Those are the features up top. And because Ubicloud Postgres is portable, once you start using it, you can take your data from AWS and move it elsewhere, or vice versa. In fact, because of these benefits, we've been running a public preview on AWS for the past 5 months. One of our customers, Hatchet, switched over to Ubicloud Postgres and saved close to $500,000 in annualized AWS costs on AWS. So we've been running that preview. And remember early on what I said about that we love PGConf.eu? So today, we're excited to announce general availability for Ubicloud on AWS. You can sign up to Ubicloud, click on the Postgres tab, and spin up a managed Postgres database on AWS. All natively integrated with AWS's IAM and networking primitives. All right, I'll recap this now. So to recap, Ubicloud offers the first managed Postgres solution that is open source. It's built based on our experience in building this solution before at Heroku Postgres, Citus AWS, and Azure Postgres. Today, we took things one step further and announced general availability on AWS. Thanks to our use of local NVMEs, we see 3 to 6x higher performance at about 1/3 to half the cost. And this all with the openness ethos of open source and Postgres. If this is interesting, give us a try and tell us what you think. We have a booth here with our engineering team ready to migrate your databases from Aurora Postgres. And even if you're not planning to migrate today, please swing by, say hi, and tell us what you think. Thank you.
Thank you, Ozgun.